Welcome to day 50. Thanks for joining, everybody. Um, as we talked about yesterday, I just realized I didn't fix something. Okay. As we talked about yesterday, we, I was tinkering in the wrong account. Anyway, sorry. As we talked about yesterday, we are moving into stage uh, 2 of the basic program. And this is very much almost like a major step back. Um, it's interesting because it's almost like what we've been doing in the first stage uh, kind of doesn't exist because they're taking us way back to the beginning. We're playing very simple songs. We're going to be doing some nursery rhymes. Um, Mary Had a Little Lamb, some other stuff along that line. Uh, they're talking about counting time signatures. As you see as we go through this, they'll be talking a little bit about rests and things like that. So it's going real basic, which is interesting. I'm like I said, I'm not quite understanding how they're pulling this into what we did in the first stage, but we're going to jump in here, see what happens, and work through this. These should go fairly quickly, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's jump into the practice session, and we're going to start the first lesson of stage 2.
Hi, Ben here.
New
Welcome
coach.
to Learn the Basics. We'll cover what you need to start making music. You'll get to know the names of each note, different note lengths, and simple time signatures, all through playing songs. You'll even be introduced to the basics of reading sheet music. Let's dive right in and learn your first song. In this lesson, we'll use these 3 fingers on your right hand. With interactive pause and play, the session won't move on until you've pressed the right key. So you'll have plenty of time to get your hands into position on the red, orange, and yellow keys. Follow me.
This is cool with this one is even though it's a video, it still has the wait thing, so he won't move on until I hit the red key.
Great. With those same notes, I'll play through the song, then we'll break it down into shorter, memorable sections.
Hey, Gretchen.
Here's the first section. Play along.
They said this is really kind of weird because
the last section is
we've
the
really
same
stepped
as the
backwards.
first, but changes slightly at the end. Here, play it with me. You've just played all the notes in your first song. Let's add in a beat and start playing the song with some rhythm. This just means we'll play the notes at the same time as the beat. This beat is going in cycles of 4, so you can count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now keep on practicing until you've learned the pattern, and when you're ready, move on to the next session.
Yeah, this is the song Val was looking for, and she's at a gig, so she's not around. I have to play this for her special. Well, that was interesting.
Hi, Matt Tediso here. Let's play another song with the same 3 fingers on your right hand. I'll play first. Play the first part of the song along with me, and if you get stuck, just follow the lights. Now let's try the second part.
Play that wrong originally.
Great. Have a go at putting it all together.
See what the next one does here.
Let's try a repeating pattern of notes on the red, orange, and yellow keys. Use the same fingers on your right hand you used before. All you need to play is this. Red, orange, yellow, red, red, orange, yellow, red. Give it a go.
Urjaka.
Now try it again. I'll accompany you with another musical part.
Yeah, I'm still finding this very interesting that we seem to have like made a huge step back.
Hey, Sam here, and we're going to be looking at chopsticks, which is an actual piece. I thought it was just a little thing that people did at the piano, but it's actually a piece, and it was written by Euphemia Allen when she was only 17, so how about that? Now, the thing that we're going to be working on today is making sure that we're hitting notes really at the same time. So we're working on coordination between the two hands. We're only going to be playing one note in each hand, but we want to make sure that the sound that we're aiming for is this, as opposed to having them like kind of, you want it to sound very much like coordinated. This song is divided into two sections, and the two sections are almost exactly the same. There's just a slight difference at the end, so pay attention to what the deviation is. So let's look at it from the start. We've got these two notes, and then we move the bottom note down one, but we keep the top note the same. And then we continue to move the bottom note down one more, and we've got this little jump going on in the right hand.
Remember some
and
things.
Then we eventually reach two Cs. So just to see that again, like this, and then a slight jump in the right hand, and then two Cs. So at each point, make sure that you're hovering over the next note before it's time to play it. So here I'll focus on my left hand and hover, and then we play at the same time. And always focus on making sure that the notes really do sound at the same time, so like this, as opposed to any of this. The only catch with this is we're going to repeat the notes 6 times each time. So it sounds like this. Try practicing this outline and keep the two hands sounding at the same time. So at the very end of the first section, there's a little bit more rapid movement, and we kind of undo what we just did by moving outwards. We now move back inwards. So we reach these Cs, and then we go. And that brings us back to exactly where we started. Try that bit out, just from the 2 Cs, moving your hands together.
Bring back memories.
And now let's try putting these 2 bits together.
I remember as a little kid when we played this, when I first learned this, and it was like I played with my neighbor. We played the duet and all this stuff, and it was like I was waiting for the day that I could graduate and play the other part while she played this part and all this stuff. Wow. Okay.
So now we reach the second section, and the second section, as I said, is very, very similar to the first. So the outline continues to look pretty much the same, and then like this, and then the little jump on the right, and then all the way to the C. But then at the end, instead of moving back in with both hands, it's even easier. We just go. And that's it. That's the end. But we do add a little bit more interest by adding a bit of rhythm to this. So it's not just the outline. We're going to repeat each note 6 times, and it sounds like this.
I ended early. Music.
So even though this is relatively simple, there's a few things that you can do to add a little bit more interest. So one way of playing this could be something like this, where it's like the notes kind of, there's no space in between the notes. You play one after the other with like no silence. But there's a way of playing this which is maybe a bit more fun, which is making it a bit more springy. So something like, try it out. See what you enjoy, see what you find fun, see what sounds good. Now, when you're practicing this, remember that even though you might have heard this piece played really quickly, like make sure that you actually have full control and that it feels like your coordination means that like you can actually play these notes really at the same time. So play it slowly a few times, and then you can gradually speed up as you gain more confidence.
Yay! We passed chopsticks. Let's see.
Challenges combine the
See
skills
if we can
you've learned
figure
so
out
far
or finish
into-
out this.
Challenges combine the skills you've
Oh,
learned
she
so
repeats.
far into a short exercise or song. Your performance will be scored, and you'll have to play accurately to score high. Good luck.
It's not good. See what it does. Hopefully I get at least. Only going to give me 4 stars. Okay. I got to get a 5-star. Sorry.
Challenges combine the skills you've learned so far into Challenges combine the skills you've
Why
learned
does she
so
repeat?
far into a short exercise or song. Your performance will be scored, and you'll have to play accurately to score high. Good luck.
Much better. I'm laughing because we've been playing music and songs and all the, oh wow, I did better than I thought. Music and songs and all kinds of stuff. And now we've gone back. Let's see what the next one does.
Hi, Emily here.
A new one.
Rest your fingers on the red, orange, and yellow keys, like mine. It doesn't quite feel like the melody is finished, right? But the second section answers the first. Now the melody sounds complete. This is called call and response. Let's split the song up into 4 sections. Call, response, call, response. Try the first musical call. And now
Our
the
last
first
one for the day.
response. Now let's look at the second half of the song. Here's the call. And the response. Okay, put the notes together at your own pace, and when you're ready, play the song in one go.
See, and we'll go to about 25 after.
In this session, you'll learn a song with your right hand. This song
Moving
has
along.
some silences between notes. Breaks like these are called rests. When counting out the beat, we can replace any silences with the word rest, like this. 1, rest, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, 4. Let's split the song into 2 sections. The first goes like this, with your hand on the red, orange, and yellow keys. Now the second section. Great. Now you're ready to put both sections together and play through the song.
It just feels like the last 50 days have been erased from the calendar. This is intriguing.
Hi, Ben here. When we learn a song, playing the
Let's
correct
see what he
notes is
does.
only part of the puzzle. To make a song sound even better, we can play each individual key lighter or harder to change the loudness of a note. For a quieter sound, press the key lightly, or play harder to make the sound louder. Hear how your Lumi keys respond. The loudness and softness in music are known as dynamics. By adding dynamics when you play, you'll be able to express more with your music. Musicians often play loudly for exciting or dramatic moments, or quietly for parts that are sad or calm. Let's practice using dynamics with a simple exercise. Let's use the red, orange, and yellow keys. Did you hear the difference?
Well, this has been an interesting day. Wow. It's like I said, it's like we turned the clock back. It's almost like the last 50 days haven't existed and we're starting brand new. I do like the concept that they're talking about more on music theory of rests and counting rests and dynamics and those kind of things. So it kind of like feels like this should have been, you know, what we started out doing rather than kind of doing what we did and now coming into this at this point. But, you know, it is what it is. And it's still, I think this is getting me excited. Like I said, chopsticks, I wanted to like cringe because it was one finger. But when we played chopsticks as a kid, that's how we learned chopsticks. We learned chopsticks with one finger on both hands, playing the notes and all that stuff. So I can accept that. So we'll see where this adventure goes from here. But anyway, thank you for joining me on day 51. If you are new here and you'd like to join my mailing list, I dropped a link into that. I send out an email every Tuesday, kind of gives me the schedule of the week and kind of, you know, some highlights from possibly the past week and what's upcoming. I try to only send one email out. If my schedule should happen to change or something like that, I will send out another email kind of with an update or something like that. I also post my schedule into my YouTube channel, in the community channel, so you can always find the schedule there also. But anyway, that was the beginning of stage 2 of the Roli program. So it's going to be interesting to see where this progresses from here and how quickly things move. Stage 2 is really long. There are lots of lessons, courses, or stuff in stage 2, so it's going to go on for some time. So it looks like this is where we start getting into the meat and potatoes of playing the piano and the music and all that stuff. One of the things that you'll notice is they frequently play on one keyboard. That is what the Roli M is. It used to be called the Lumi, and as you had, when I started, I had 2 of those put together, but they do a lot with the Lumi, or Roli M, and then they'll go into either 2 of those together, which is almost the equivalent of the piano, except the piano has 1 extra C on the high end, so it adds a high C, an added C for 49 keys. But it's pretty much the same thing. One thing I have realized with the Roli program, and I've mentioned this before, is when I first got this, because I knew the piano was going to be late coming in, I just bought a Roli M thinking that I could do the lessons, and I thought I could switch between the left hand and right hand on just that one little single 2-octave keyboard. And that's not the case. When you get to parts where once you're left hand, you're required to have 2 of those, otherwise you can't access the lesson. So that was kind of surprised. It wasn't a big deal. I went ahead and got another one and, was able to go through the lessons. But that's a key thing for people to be aware of. And I've mentioned it to Roli that they may need to make a little bit more of a statement about that. But anyway, again, thank you for joining me on day 51. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we will be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Yep. Is tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow is Thursday. I forgot what day of the week it is. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we'll be back at 2 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow afternoon. And we'll give this another shot and advance from here. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.